Good morning. So it's just gone 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've decided to head out and try and find some bluebells to take pictures of. So I think they're sort of up and about now. They're generally around sort of mid-April through to May. And there's a wood about half an hour from here where I've taken pictures of them a couple of times in the past. So I'll head over there, see if there are any, and if there are, I'll get some photos. Right, made it to the woods in good time. It's a nice sunny morning, but it'll obviously be dark under the trees. Looking through the windows, I can see a fair bit of colour actually. So it looks like the flowers are here still, at least, which is a good sign. So let's get out the car and get some images, hopefully. My first aim will be to try and find an area where there's a nice sort of carpet of the bluebells, hopefully with the sun coming through the trees behind. And with a bit of luck there'll be some trees to sort of cast a few sort of long shadows into the image as the sun's still reasonably low. So we'll wander on through the woods and see what we can find. So there's a nice little area just over there with those thin trees that's illuminated by the sun. So I think I will carefully pick away through the undergrowth here, avoiding the flowers, and get a little bit closer to that. So I've just found another nice angle here. With these little sort of set of small trees sprouting up out of the ground in a nice shape, sort of fanning out from each other. Just switch around. So I think I'll get another picture here, and then I might go and move over to that sort of sloping fallen tree over there, see if there's any picture I can make out of that. I can see some moss towards the bottom of it, so maybe something a little bit more close up, focused on the wood and the flowers around it. So I've positioned low down by this fallen branch now. Still got the 35mm on, and I'm going to focus on some of the moss that's just catching the sunlight here, and then let the rest of the image sort of fall out of focus a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to try f4, see how that comes out. got down to the bottom sort of end of the woods now. There's not so many bluebells down here, so I think I'll loop back round nearer to where I was a few minutes ago. Maybe get a few more pictures up there and try some close-ups as well. But I did just quite like these tall trees here. As I came around the corner on the path, so I stopped to grab a shot of those. Not sure whether it'll work out or not. Might be one of those that looks nicer in mono or something. Yeah, we'll have a look and see. Anyway, and then continue on the path. So I've just found a nice little standalone set of flowers here, fairly isolated from the rest of them, as you can see, just at the side of the path. So I've popped the longer lens on, which actually lets me focus a bit closer in. So I'll sort of try and do one or two detail shots around here, rather than trying to get the whole sort of blanket of flowers in instead. So I've been to these woods a couple of times for shooting bluebells. I didn't come last year, I don't think. Maybe the year before. It turns out there's a pond here which I've never noticed before. I just sort of saw a clearing and a sign saying deep water and thought, yeah, interesting, maybe that'll be worth a photo. But I don't think it is, because if I just let you have a look. I mean, I'm not going to jump in for a swim. I think stagnant is the word. So, yeah, I'll move on, I think. So there doesn't seem to be anyone else here yet. Been walking around for half an hour or so, and no one else has turned up. I was going to include a little picture of the sign when I arrived in this vlog, but I don't know that I will, because then more of you might come and find it. I quite like that no one else seems to know that this place is here. Anyway, I've just found this little sort of drainage ditch thing, leading off through the trees, bluebells either side of it. It's not the most attractive thing, but there's some nice orange leaves in it still from autumn, I guess. They've just never really decomposed. So there might be a nice bit of colour contrast to bring out here, sort of the orange of those leaves and the blue of the bluebells. So I'll grab a quick picture here, see what comes out. So I think for the image here, I'm going to probably shoot at about 50mm, I think. I don't want to include too much of the foreground because it's not that interesting. The more interesting part is up there in the centre of the image. So yeah, it's kind of tricky because I want to include enough of the foreground to get the ditch in, but keep the stuff behind. So I think I'm going to go for the sort of horizon level, as it were, maybe on the upper third, similar to how you see here, but sort of cropped in a little closer, and see how that comes out. So I'm a little further along that gully that we were shooting a moment ago, and again, it's really nice with these sort of spindly thin trunks. So I've gone for a vertical composition here. Not quite sure if it'll work because then a bunch of sky gets included, and it's got a fair bit of contrast between obviously the bright sky because it's a sunny day, and the light down in amongst the trees is pretty dark still. So I'm going to bracket, but as you can see as I'm recording now, the light's sort of coming through. But I think I'll go for a landscape composition as well, and I've got both options later on. I can also hear some children in the distance, so I think maybe my peace and quiet is shortly to be at an end. It wasn't a child, it turned out to be a girl walking a dog. Anyway, she's wandered off. I just found this big old tree trunk here. Some nice bluebells behind it. I don't know, maybe it'll be a bit messy for a picture, but it's a pretty interesting shape. So I'll have a little play, see if there's an image here. Like I say, I remain unconvinced, but there might be a good angle on it that I've not found yet. So I stopped off for a couple more images back where I started. I think that was the sort of thickest chunk of flowers. They're a little bit sparse in other places, but for the most part, there's some really nice areas in these woods, and they're not too big. Anyway, time to head home, I think. Get some breakfast, and then have a look through the photos and see what comes out. So I hope you enjoy the images. If you want to comment, feel free. Obviously, if you enjoyed this and want to see any other videos I come up with, click subscribe. Thank you.